What's up, everybody? I'm Phil Rogacki.
And I'm Jared Abrojena.
And you're listening to Two Tree Guys Podcast. What's up, everybody? This is Phil Rogacki here, challenging the standard, drinking beer, and learning from a Class A badass today. I'm joined with sometimes my good buddy, Jared Abrojena, world-renowned, famous, the wizard, the one and only.
Oh, man.
Say hi.
You got to stop saying that.
He is the wizard, guys. If you see him, call him the wizard. Call him the wizard. But we're joined today by a gentleman that has become a friend of mine that I'm excited to hear about your story, the industry, and is probably the most famous podcast tree guy there is out there right now. He's been on more shows, and his ultimate goal is to get on the Joe Rogan, which is going to be happening soon. And his name is Mr. Matthew Meckley. Welcome, my friend.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome. And get close to the mic as close as you can. Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right. All right. This ain't a 1-800 sex talk phone line.
Welcome.
Before we get started on this show, Two Tree Guys, we like to crack some cold beers with everybody and cheers and have a successful show and learn some stuff about the industry and yourself and just enjoy brotherhood in this industry. So grab a beer and let's crack one open.
Grab a beer.
All right. And the beer that we're having, let me talk to you about this beer that we're having here, right? This beer we're having, this is smuggled beer. Cross state lines.
Literally.
I went to Toledo, Ohio, and I went to probably one of the famous breweries there. This is Maumee Brewing Company. Wearing their shirts. This is our beer sponsor for the show today. And I went there and I bought all this beer, or they gave me the beer. Well, I bought it and they gave me it, bought it, whatever. And I had to pack it in my suitcase. My suitcase weighed like 100 pounds bringing this shit back here. But I smuggled this beer all the way back for you, my friend. Most of the time when there's a guest, I just go down the street and we find a good brewery that wants to sponsor us. But this one, Maumee Brewing Company. So they got some cool stuff. In 1938, now check this out. This was called Buckeye Beer. It was founded in Toledo, Ohio. In 1971, Miller bought Buckeye Beer. And they ceased to produce Buckeye beer. They got rid of it. Miller bought it. According to Neil, the owner, the Toledo Blade reported that the Buckeye beer recipe became the basic recipe for Miller Lite. This is the recipe for Miller Lite, which is why they bought it. For 7 years, Buckeye was not allowed to produce it. But when Jim Appold opened the Maumee Bay Brewing Company, he bought the label back from Miller and started producing Buckeye again. So today the beers are well known throughout all Ohio market, and they produce about 30 to 35 beers for that. But man, what a cool place. I went there. The building that it's in, it's called the Oliver House. It's on like this old cobblestone street in downtown Toledo, and this house is 155 years old that they built this brewery into it. So cheers, everybody.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool. My girlfriend's from Ohio, so.
Total Eclipse. I'm drinking Total Eclipse.
Oh, you're the boyfriend of
Tree Being.
Yeah, the Tree Pin. Now I remember you. Gosh.
Are you?
It's an inner joke.
It's a joke,
inside joke.
Okay. It reminds me of I don't even know his name, but Paige Van Zant. That's on. She's a UFC fighter, but her husband is also a UFC fighter, but he's known as Paige Van Zant's husband.
Oh God, I know.
Cheers.
Mine's really good.
Cheers.
Tiramisu.
Hey,
Now,
cheers.
brown ale.
Thanks for having me on.
Cheers. Cheers, everybody. All right. Cheers, live audience. Cheers.
Man, 43 people want to hear me talk.
Oh, man. I know. Shit, man. It's getting popular here. So, guys, on this show, too, we don't have any sponsors, and we don't want any sponsors. So to pay for this show, we just ask you to share it. Tag someone in this today. Tell them to get online. Tell them to watch it. If you like it, share it, listen to it, post it on your social media. If you don't like it, cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, if you don't like it. But if you do, and you get something out of it, pay it forward and spread the word for that. So, that's our only payment that we're asking for you guys on this. But Matt Meckley, man, welcome, dude.
Thank you.
Welcome, man. You're here.
Yeah.
I mean,
been
I'm
talking
super
about it.
excited. Hell yeah, and I'm excited to hear your story today and learn. You've been in this industry for 9 years, right? But from what you've accomplished in that time, it's like you're a founding father to the tree care industry, right?
Yeah.
So let's hear your story, man. The people out there, they don't know you, that you follow you, have a huge following on Instagram and social media. But let's hear your story. I mean, your backstory to where you are now.
Cool. I hate talking about myself, but I guess what would this make me? My dad and uncle were tree guys. So is that first generation or second generation?
Second, third.
Yeah.
No, second
mean,
generation.
Second
Second
generation.
generation.
So I guess I'm a second generation tree guy. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and yeah, I don't know. I never knew that I'd get into tree work when I was a kid. My dad, he was always. It's weird.
So your dad in the
That-
tree care service. So you're from Chicago, Illinois,
Yeah.
born and raised. Your dad, I mean, was this his profession his whole life?
Yeah. Well, kind of. He would switch going from like heavy equipment, like hauling heavy equipment, and then being a climber. I think he more started doing heavy equipment after he was out of climbing and all that. Like he worked with Norm Hall back in the day down there.
You know
Oh,
Norm
no
Hall?
way, yeah.
You know Norm
Yeah,
Hall?
I know Norm. Yeah.
How do you get into this industry?
It's kind of. I don't actually know. I never asked him,
Yeah.
but he worked at Davy Tree, and I don't know. That's how I got into it, and he got me into it
How old?
when he did it.
Now, how old were you when you
Oh.
first started?
So I was a hairdresser before all this, so I think
What?
I was 22.
The man with no hair is the hairdresser.
Yeah, so I think I started. Yeah, I was 22. Just turned 22, and there was like a microburst that happened in Illinois, and my dad's like, "Hey, you want to come stack brush, and I'll pick it up with the grapple?" I said, "Yeah, that's fine." And I got to see actual tree climbers climb. I was like, "I'm gonna do that."
Why?
I don't know. I just, I like the fear of heights. I like action, and it's just the way those guys moved around the tree and everything. It was just, I want to do that,
So you're an adrenaline junkie.
Oh yeah, big time, big
Yeah.
time. Yeah, BMX and breaking bones all the time when I was a kid. So,
So how long you been doing? You've been riding BMX back then. Were you just kind of getting into that, or were you already kind of?
no, I got into it probably around like 8th grade after I got out of military school, and I was able to have a life. Yeah, I saw some BMX videos, and then my mom got me a cool BMX bike, and then just started progressing with that, meeting friends, and then traveling and all that, and yeah, I don't know.
But you took that to a next level though too. So you took that. I mean, did you do competitions or races?
Yeah,
or
I did
freestyle?
competitions.
Was it like dirt?
Sorry,
was it track?
guys. I'm pretty nervous. I don't know if you guys. I don't. When the fun gun comes out, I start stuttering.
Oh man, is that the mic you're talking?
Yeah.
The fun gun.
The fun
I mean,
gun.
I was wondering. I'm like, you don't have to hold it like this, Matt. Why are you
He's
holding
like,
it like
I
this?
don't know what to do with my hands.
No, but yeah, I did BMX, and then I guess I got a few companies that hooked me up with some bikes and all that. But
You were
just-
sponsored?
I wouldn't say full-time sponsored, but I had some companies that would hook me up when I was younger, and kind of was like their street team to like help represent them and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's a sponsor.
But I'd say BMX tree work took the what'd you say, that urge and the thrill
yeah.
for me, and because I got injured when I rode BMX. Like I broke my leg really bad. I've torn all my ligaments when I was 15.
Oh man.
And so I started getting 21, and I was like, man, I should probably, maybe slow it down.
Yeah.
And I was still cutting hair, and then found tree work, kind of put BMX aside, and I learned how to work hard and, kind of make money too, instead
Yeah.
of living with mom and dad and all that.
Mom, meatloaf. Now.
Exactly.
We're hungry.
Now let me back up a little bit here. You said something, and I don't know if anybody heard it, but you went to military school.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
What'd you go to military school for?
Oh man, I was
Were you a bad kid?
I was a bad kid. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I needed structure. So my parents got divorced when I was like 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, growing up where I grew up, I'm from the south side of Chicago, and there was kind of weird groups you can get involved with when you're a kid, and I just started showing an attitude and a lack of, respect for anyone that would step to me or challenge me or something. And my mom, she saw that because she was working all the time. And then when she would see me, she's like, man, he's got an attitude on him, I don't want him to, end up in prison or something.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, yeah, and I was kind of on board with it too. I needed a change.
Mm-hmm.
And we went and checked out a military school on the southeast side of Chicago, and yeah, that's where I ended up, and I'm thankful for it, It definitely made me who I am.
So
Awesome.
how long were you in military school?
I think my first year was 3rd grade, and I was there till the end of 8th grade. So freshman year, I was back in I was in a Catholic school and then regular school.
Gotcha.
But
So they sent you
man.
young.
oh yeah. It's my mom was working all the time, and my grandparents were help raising me and all that. But yeah, I needed that. I needed to be. Hey, you're not as big of a badass or a tough guy as you think you are.
Did they put you in your place real quick?
My first night, I got my butt kicked by all the kids. It was like a hazing or like, hey, welcome to Glenwood.
Yeah.
So,
Glenwood.
yeah.
Oh man. What's that TV show? Your mom didn't want you to end up like Frank on HBO.
Yeah.
Shit, what's it called?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Caitlin likes that show. Shameless.
Shameless.
Yeah, nah.
South Side.
Yeah, exactly.
South Side.
Yeah, that
The whole show's about South Side and the Have you ever seen Shameless?
These guys you're talking to? I don't watch TV.
Oh man. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
anyways, it's a funny show. So as soon as you said South Side Chicago, the whole show's about South Side Chicago.
Yeah.
And you don't want to end up like Frank Gallagher.
No, definitely not. Yeah. Yeah, I think my neighborhood's like 25 minutes away from where they filmed that show.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty close.
So you get out of military school. You're in 8th grade.
Mhm.
I mean, when was there a time frame where they thought, all right, he's good now. Let's get him back in.
Yeah, my mom, she was like, yeah, I think you've grown up,
Yeah.
and will put me in regular school. But then she sent me to a Catholic school, and that was all bad for me.
You just
I
went
got
right
good
back.
grades there. I really took school serious, but it was just, I was over it. I wanted to be around girls, and I just wanted to be with my friends.
Yeah.
I was far away still, and
Yeah.
so
Well, what made you want to get into hairdressing? I mean,
so look, I copped out in life. I either followed my mom
yeah, put that mic a little
or my
closer.
father.
Uh-huh.
So like my mom's a hairdresser, she owns a salon, and then my dad's a tree guy. So it's like
He said
I
I
didn't
copped out in life.
I didn't think for myself to find
There's
my own
more
career.
professions out there.
I know, exactly. Like I didn't think outside the box. I was like, what are you gonna do? Well, I did this, and now I'm gonna do this. But
Yeah.
with the hair profession, I really truly loved it.
Yeah.
I'd probably still be a hairdresser if I didn't lose my favorite job.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I had to.
What do you mean you lost your favorite job?
So I worked really hard, and see, I'm getting nervous again. Growing up, when
Just let it rip.
I had I got alopecia. I got no eyebrows, no hair, no nothing.
Mm-hmm.
People thought I was weird. So when I worked at this salon, I had to every week I had to get hair models, and I had to go up on random people in Chicago, say, hey, I like your hair, but I'm learning how to do perfect haircuts. Would you want to come to the salon and be my hair model? And I had to provide three a day for
Holy shit.
Oh my gosh.
for 2 years.
Randomly in the streets, walking
Yeah, I
up to
had to go
somebody,
out and talk to people.
talking them to come in
awesome.
and have
Yeah.
yourself
So-
cut their hair.
Yeah. So I had to convince people, the guy with no eyebrows and no hair, that hey, can I cut your hair? I'm not a creep and I'm not like weird.
Yeah.
So
Dude.
that was super hard for me.
But 2 years.
2 years of that, yeah.
Man, what life skills that taught you?
Kind of. I
Yeah.
was intimidated to talk to people.
What
and
about after that first year and going into people?
it was all right. I didn't come into my own person until I was 24, 25.
Yeah.
That was 18 to 21 I was still a little like a hermit, I didn't really talk to people. I was really shy. I didn't come into my own until I was 24, I think.
Yeah.
So But yeah.
What was the hair place called?
It was called Vidal Sassoon. I mean, everyone knows the hair product, but it was like, it's one of the most prestigious salons and hair companies in the world.
How'd you get into this? I mean, people are like, I'm work at Moe's Barbershop down the corner.
So,
come see me. And you're working at Vivel. How do you say
Vidal
it?
Sassoon.
Vidal
Since
Sassoon.
your hair like never before.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I watched that.
I thought you didn't watch TV.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's an old commercial. You
It's a
probably was a
commercial.
kid.
Yeah, I was a kid.
You are older than me. I forgot.
So, yeah. When I went to beauty school and all that, I got my cosmetology license. I didn't want to do hair color. It made my hands all gross, and it was just way too much. Like, no, I want to build things and make shapes and use scissors. So I started getting into it, and then there's a guy who did a talk at the school, and he worked for Vidal Sassoon. I just started doing research, and then I found out that this salon is like the most prestigious in Chicago. It took me 3 months of calling every Wednesday, hey, do you guys have an opening? Do you guys have an opening? Do you guys have an opening? So I was super persistent, and then when I came in and shadowed and, showed them, like, I cleaned the whole salon, paid attention to everything, and they were like, wow, you're one of the top guys that should work for us.
Uh-huh.
And then that happened.
Dude, that's freaking awesome.
I think that's where I started my hard working into, like, where I put that much effort, I put that into everything now.
Because you got... I mean, you set a goal.
What I wanted. Yeah.
You weren't taking no matter how many doors shut in your face. Yeah. You got into one of the most prestigious salons in Chicago,
haircutting,
and probably around in the country.
Yeah,
the guy with no hair getting in, and then they're having you go out. I mean, just smart. You're hustling out there on the streets, pulling new clients and new customers and building your book of business. Yeah. I mean, how many of those people did you bring in after those 2 years that stayed with you?
A good amount, yeah. Met some cool, wild people.
Are you friends with any of them today?
Some of them have passed away, but yeah.
Who's your favorite client that you can think of right now?
Her name was
Why?
Cynthia the Plaster Caster.
What?
What'd she make out of plaster?
She was the girl who would go to Woodstock and all those things and take molds of all the old rock stars' peckers.
What?
Look her up.
What's her name?
Cynthia the Plaster Caster.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is she still around?
I don't know. I know she ran for mayor of Chicago at one time.
Did she get it?
No.
Oh, dude, here we go. American artist.
This is Cynthia the Plaster Caster.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I think she's probably still around.
Cynthia the Plaster Caster.
The groupie who made penis molds.
Yeah.
This is some straight.
I bet you some of her things are selling for some big money.
I used to ask her so many questions. She said Jimi Hendrix was really shy, and like we clicked really good, but yeah.
She told you some stories every single time.
Yeah.
So here you are. You found her on the street. She comes in. You're cutting her hair, and you guys talk about penises every haircut. That's really awesome.
I just asked her about.
I was wondering why she was your favorite.
This is
no, it's because rock stars.
Because of rock stars.
Oh, God.
She made plastic.
Don't watch me anymore, guys.
This is so right.
She made plastic or plaster molds of penises.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, she was my favorite.
But she was cool. No.
Yeah.
She gave me lots of
tips.
Life advice. She'd always try to get me to the bar, and I was 19, and I was like,
she wanted to mold you, man.
Oh my!
She wanted to
Did she mold you?
No.
Did she do it?
No.
Oh man!
Okay.
You know what's super ironic about this is you're just into cutting shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, you went from
To
hair to
tree.
sauce. Like you just love cutting shit.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, oh man, look at the freaking internet's going crazy right now. Look at this.
I told
man.
you. Oh my god.
Gosh. Wow. She probably wanted you to come with her because then you guys can work together. You can cut some hair down there, and then she can make her mold because she probably had to get some things out of the way. So, oh man. All right. So here we go.
Yeah.
Most prestigious salon in the world you're working at.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when did you get out of that?
So just to make it short, I had a model not show up for one of my almost my final tests, and I don't know if I don't think the lady that I was my creative director really liked me, and it was kind of an easy way for her to get rid of me and get someone else in the salon.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was it. And then So I moved down to Austin, Texas for BMX and just
Okay.
hanging out with the friends. I was like
Yeah.
lost in life, you know. I was like, I'm gonna move down to Austin.
How old are you here?
I just turned 21. So
Gotcha.
moved down to Austin, turned 21. Was getting ready to do some stuff with the BMX company, and I broke my leg super bad.
Yeah.
So and then I broke my leg super bad, and then what else? So I stayed in Austin by myself, and then I flew home. Yada yada yada. Needed some money. Bank account
Yeah.
started getting low after money saved. Then I asked my dad that summer. I was like, "Hey, can you get me a job with you?" And then the rest is history, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
you started pulling brush. You working for Davey?
no, I was working for a company called Trees R Us.
Trees are
out
us.
of like the northwest suburbs of Illinois.
And-
Yeah, I just started pulling brush for the grapple truck, and then started show.
And they got the name off Toys R Us.
Yeah,
correct.
most
Anybody
likely.
know who Toys? Do you know Toys R Us?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't know. Is it a Midwest thing or
yeah,
Wait,
the
are you
giraffe
kidding
and all
me?
that.
you know
Midwest
Toys R
thing?
Us?
Yeah,
Is it out
there's
here?
Yeah, they used to be.
Well, they're all
closed
gone
down
now. They're all gone.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Trees R Us. Are they still around?
Yeah, they're around. I think they contract under Mowbrays with grapple trucks, and they do a
Really?
lot of
Oh,
storm
wow.
cleanup and all that. Yeah, my
Oh,
dad,
shit.
my old man, like drives constantly for them to do. He drives grapple trucks all over the country for them.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
So
cool.
So at that point, you came in to work as either groundy.
Groundy.
Did you climb previous
No,
with your dad?
I had
No,
no
like rec
experience.
climbs. No, like
I was just starting to walk again when I got
Got it.
that job.
Okay.
So that was like my physical therapy. And then, I saw the tree climbers climb, and then I told the boss, I was like, yeah, I want to be a climber, and he kind of says like, I don't think you'll ever be a climber or something. And
look at you
that
now.
Why is
was-
that?
I don't know, man. He just I don't know.
Well, he's like-
he wanted me to be a ground guy, and that's it, or something like that. I don't know. He's a good guy. He takes care of my dad.
Now, was it? It's Trees. I almost said
Trees
Toys R
R
Us. I mean, is it a big company?
Yeah, they're. I think they're pretty big now. Yeah, they're a good company.
Somebody said that they're in Canada too.
Oh, maybe.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of companies where smaller companies that you come in and you want to progress, but they're like, dude, I need a groundsman for like ever.
Yeah, exactly. So
I don't want to
think-
teach you shit.
I think that's what it was, And he, I'm a young kid, You mostly see these young kids now get in the industry. It's like, oh, whatever, You're probably just gonna be
Yeah.
here for a few weeks and that's it. But when that ignited something in me, and I'm always
When he said that.
when he said that, and just I wanted to be a tree climber, so I was like, I'm gonna do this, and then I worked my butt off on being a groundman, not running, but working under a chipper in a municipal trimming contracts. It's like 20 climbers and 2 bucket trucks, and me behind a chipper chipping all this brush, So that was like my first 2 months until some foremen saw me and they're like, hey, you got what it takes. You work hard. We're going to teach you how to climb. And it was these 2 brothers, and they thought it was funny because I was so green and I had no fear.
Yeah.
They would tie my Blake's hitch too tight and kick me out of the bucket 60 feet up and swing do these gnarly swings. And like, they thought it was fun, but I liked it. They thought it was funny because they thought it would freak me out.
Right.
But then like,
You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
what I've been waiting for.
exactly. It's like, oh yeah, now you got to hip thrust 60 feet in this elm and use a pole saw to cut one limb.
He's like,
you
cool,
know?
I get to cut shit. Let's
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
Give me a saw.
So those guys definitely like,
Do you still talk to those guys?
yeah,
today?
yeah.
What are their names?
Victor and Baltazar. They're in Chicago. They're they're these cool. I used to call them Mario and Luigi, and they were just the coolest tree climbers ever, man. They were just
That's so awesome.
they would mess with me all the time. Like if I was, when I first started out,
So they taught you. They started teaching you.
yeah, they started teaching me, and it was kind of broken English to teach me, but I kind of learned really quick, and then. If I didn't trim a branch the way they wanted to me, they would tie my rope to a stop sign or something, and then they'd all go take lunch, and I'm trying to descend out of the tree on a Blake's hitch. And
What
I
were you doing?
can't. I was just trimming a tree
Oh.
Too funny.
and trying
Talk
to
about
descend on the
hazing.
Blakes. And
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So these 2 gentlemen, you said they had broken English. Where were they from?
I think.
Spanish, Central
Yeah,
America,
they're
South America,
from
Mexico.
Mexico.
Okay.
They were from some ranch.
And they
town, I
came
can't
up to
remember.
now. Let me tell you, I've man, some of the hardest working guys out there that worked with me before from Mexico.
Yeah.
And if they come up to you and say, "Dude, You got what it takes.
Oh,
You
yeah.
impressed him.
Oh yeah.
You impressed him. We had a guy on my crew, Ignacio, Nacho, we call him. And every single person, I didn't care who came through the company. Every single time I went to Nacho, I'm like, is he good, Nacho? He's like, well, yeah. Oh, well, you probably fire him. I'm like, really? He's like, oh, no good. I'm like, okay. Next guy comes in and he'd be like, oh, he's good. He's hard worker. And those guys we kept and we invested in them. But Nacho, he
was
determined who was a good worker and who wasn't a good worker
regulator.
from that. So
Yeah.
for them to come up and be like, this kid has it, that's hats off to you on that
No,
one.
yeah, that was awesome. And those guys, I still talk to them to this day, and
Yeah?
they're awesome.
Cool. They still climbing, working?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Hard
Cool.
workers.
Cool. So then what? Where was the next step in your career?
So then, yeah, I did that, and I worked for a local company in my neighborhood, and yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got the spark to go back into I'm a hairstylist. My mom opened up a salon, and she needed some stylists. I was like, you know what? I might go back and do this. Well, I did it. It just didn't have that sparkle for me anymore. You know, it didn't appease me. And hard work, pulling branches or
Yeah.
climbing, that really, you know, I loved it.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that, and then went back to tree work, and then started a company in Chicago with two good guys called A&M Tree Service. Did that, and then what year was the TCI in Pittsburgh?
Oh, dude, you can't.
That was the first
I'm
time.
Terrible.
That was the
You
first
give me
time I
dates.
met you and witnessed SRT and David Driver. It was like 2015 or 16.
Were you
Was it
working
a
for
You were
us?
with
comp?
Pencil.
Was it
You-
a comp or was I?
No, it was a TCIA convention in Pittsburgh.
Oh, and I went and taught outside.
You did teach it outside, but you also did some stuff on the inside.
Yeah.
You were like
Oh,
rope
man.
walking up some stuff, like a rope up on the ceiling.
Dude, I'm terrible. With
It was
that
like
shit.
15, I think. So that was like that convention. I never knew anything like that, and that was the place where I met Jared the first
Yeah.
time, and then I met David Driver, and I heard a rigging class from a guy named Gareth Tudor Jones, who's like I think is a safety guy for Bartlett up in British Columbia,
Okay.
and he did a talk on double block rigging. I never knew much about rigging. I was monkey see, monkey do. I mainly never used blocks or anything. I would just do that, find a crotch, half wrap, you know, and then tie the piece up and cut it in natural friction.
Yeah.
And then I learned how to
Drop crashing.
drop crotching. Yeah. So then I did that, and then when he taught this class about showing blocks and double blocks rigging and having a tagline to tie like
Yeah.
butt tie and stuff, that just blew my mind. Everything there. That was like the changing moment of my career. Is like, and then I got to work.
That was where was that?
That was at the Pittsburgh TCIA.
And you seen that, and then
Yeah.
I mean, what clicked there when you seen it?
Oh,
And blew your mind?
just getting you know, being taught, like going to those classes.
Did you feel like in Chicago doing what you were doing? Did you feel like you were I know all this, I can do tree work?
Yeah,
And then
no.
this kind
Yeah.
of going, oh shit.
I was stagnant in Chicago. You know, I thought I knew everything and this and that, and once I went to the TCIA convention.
What made you go to the TCIA convention?
I don't know.
You went
I
there
thought
by
it was fun.
yourself?
I went with my buddy.
Yeah.
And I knew they had products, and I wanted more for myself to learn. You know, I wanted to take classes and get better at what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, that was. I met David Driver, and then got a job with him after that, and yeah, it was awesome. You know,
That's freaking awesome. Yeah, dude, I almost died on that trip, man. I almost fell in that damn freaking river.
really,
Like
out the bridge.
off the bridge. Yeah. Oh, I did a handstand off one of those piers, almost went over, and yeah, it was like,
Oh, and then I
it
saved
was
your
like
life.
a 30-foot drop down in the piers. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that was a wicked night.
Was there beer involved?
Oh, I say that was so bad.
Oh,
But yeah,
man.
no, that was I remember that year now.
So then, that education, you sought out to get more education and training. You went to TCIA. You got to see some cool things that blew your mind.
Yeah.
What kind of drive did you have after that,
Oh,
leaving, and where did you go?
I was hungry. And once I bought some rigging gear, I had a nasty ash tree to take down that next week,
Yeah.
and did it smooth. There was no reckless swinging in the alley of a Chicago neighborhood with power lines. It was tip tie, butt tie, and this thing was dead. It was crumbling as I rigged it out.
Uh-huh.
So I did that, and I learned so much, and then I finally put it to my repertoire or whatever, and did that. And then I've been talking with David Driver, who's the X-Man, the guy who brought the X-rigging rings to the industry. And, he offered me a job. I came out for tryouts for a week. Then I stayed another week, and we built a relationship. And then I moved out to Maryland. And that was awesome. That guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still
Smart
talk
dude.
to him today?
Oh, yeah, all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very fortunate for all the mentors I've had in this career. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy, I was mostly self-taught for the first couple of years, and then after that, I just had the best mentors, and it's been
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, what you've done in such a small amount of time is incredible. And I tip my hat to you for that. I mean, to be able to expose yourself to that big of a portion of the industry was huge, and I think people just strive for that. That's what they want, but we get so trapped.
Yeah.
We get trapped in our daily. We get trapped in our lives. We get trapped in our head. We're not able to get outside that box, right? And I think what you're doing and where you've become is because, drop all the walls, all the doors, frickin' go.
Yeah.
And like you said, meeting a lot of killer people along the way. And
Luckily, my mom instilled that, the squeaky wheel always gets the oil, and never say no to an opportunity. That's the things that I live by. I
Yeah.
don't care if I had a girlfriend back then or whatever. It's like, hey, I got a job offer here. I'm moving.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
with me or you're not. This is it,
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to go to New Zealand and Australia.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, definitely. The New
Because
Zealand.
that was one of the highlights in your life.
Yeah, New Zealand is like, if I didn't get caught into this PG&E and all that stuff and learn, understanding that I can make good money out here, New Zealand was going to be my second home until David Perkins was like, hey, you're going to be with me.
Come here,
Yeah,
child.
exactly.
Come here, get in my van.
Exactly. But-
He's done it to me too,
Oh,
man.
That guy is awesome.
Definitely instilled in me some cool stuff and changed my direction a lot of times
Yeah.
and taught me a lot of cool stuff, man. And
Yeah.
I owe a lot to him.
Me
really.
too. Me too.
I owe a lot to him. So let's talk about that. New Zealand, because that was one of your regrets. You wish you'd went to New Zealand sooner. You wish you'd have started in the tree care industry
yeah.
sooner. There's times where we look and we're like, man, if I could only go back and do this different and do this different. And I've said this before on the show. Today's the day you can do things different.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to look at the past and say, oh, I wish I'd do that sooner. What things do you wish you would start, now? And start them. Start them right now.
Yeah.
So let's talk about New Zealand. Going out there.
So we're talking about what things I would change if I was 18 and say getting tree work earlier.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have the same drive or the same the work ethic and all that I had to acquire after the other years when I joined it when I was like 21, 22.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, New Zealand, oh man, it started out as like a kind of like a hoop dream. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go work in New Zealand. I didn't know how to acquire that. So I started talking with a guy who owns Kiwi Climbers. His name's Dale Thomas. He's a pretty big deal in New Zealand as a tree climber and done a lot for the industry. I started talking to him, saying, "Hey, I'm not going to talk politics." I was like, "A certain someone's going to be president. I need to get out of America. This and that." And he's like, "Oh man, I know. I see."
Uh-huh.
So then we started a like a relationship that way.
Yeah.
Then I went and worked out in the East Bay for Grant Hamilton.
Okay.
And Dale kept up with my career and my progress, and he's like, "Man, you can work those big eucalyptuses out there.
Ah.
I could use a guy like you to come out here next year."
Yeah.
So then, I figured out how to get a work visa, this and that.
Was that hard?
No, well, before pre-COVID, it was easy. You got to be a certain age, and then you ask for a what is it? A holiday work visa. So it's like you're on vacation /work. And then, I did that. And, Yeah, man, Dale Thomas, Zane Wedding. Like, Zane let me live with him basically for almost rent-free while I got to do this awesome experience in his country as he taught me all the stuff about the native Maori people, you know, their culture and how they got down on tree work. And then working with Dale, I got to do some of the coolest tree jobs in New Zealand that, like, people were so jealous that a Yank is doing their job.
Like what?
Know? Like, some of the coolest crane jobs, and some, like, they had a tree in their park called Cornwall Park, which is, it's got crazy amount of species of trees from all over, and they had this big Monterey pine that was dying. I think it was only 90 or 80 years old, but it was girthy. It was a huge one, and I got to remove it. It was called Big Bertha, and I don't know, I had a 661 with a 6-foot bar, and I was still underbarred on it. Taking, like, I don't know, 12,000 pound picks of wood. Yeah. You know, that was cool. You know?
So you're getting some haters.
Well, not haters. No, I was just like,
damn Yankee came here, frickin'. We've been waiting for this tree for 15 years to take it down.
But it was cool how that whole community in New Zealand just, you know, they considered me family, you know, like even when I went back for competitions and stuff, they're like, hey, come take pictures with us, you know, your family and stuff.
Nice.
You know.
That's awesome.
So
do you still want to go out there?
Oh yeah,
go back?
Yeah. That,
I mean, is that your end goal to end up there?
I would love that, but you know, the way I don't know how things are going and this and that.
Yeah.
Who knows where I'm going to be able to end up? But
yeah.
California is home now.
I mean, I'm sure more doors and more opportunities are opening up for you.
Oh yeah, no, I you know, the opportunities are endless right now, and just thankful.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
Now let's talk about the PG&E, because you just mentioned that. You know, were you in PG&E before or after New Zealand?
After.
So you came back from New Zealand, and why'd you come back?
I just came back because my buddy Patrick, who owns Storm Tree Service in Chicago, I was his climber. Yeah. And we would kind of shut down for the winter because it's too, like, I'm going to say it. I hate the cold. I don't like climbing in snow or negative degree temperatures, so I don't work. Uh-huh. But, yeah, I would come back, and then I'd work. You know, we had a 2-man team that we would just tackle everything. So I did that, came back, and then I was like, you know, I got to get out of Chicago. I was burning myself out. I was working in a bar and contract climbing. Mm-hmm. I worked 7 days a week. I burnt myself out that whole year. And I was like, I need to change. And I started wanting to get into the falling aspect of trees, you know, with the Paradise Fire and all that. And, you know, I swore to myself I'd never do utility. And then Perkins and them.
Now, how'd you meet Perkins?
So I met him through Travis DeVant.
Love Travis.
Yeah, me too. And it was more like, how did it go? It was I just had mentioned that I wanted to get into falling work, and I had heard of Perkins for years from coming back and forth through the West Coast about this guy who can fall eucalyptuses that no one would touch and all this, you know. And he just had. Did
you think it was full of bullshit?
No, I just had no idea who this guy was. I just only heard cool stories about him. And then I got to work for him. Oh
man, yeah. Man, I got so many stories. Just passed through my head.
How many years did you work for him?
For Perkins?
2, 3?
2 years, I think. Yeah, it was 2 years. And that was awesome. You know, I mean, the PG&E work and just learning under him how to deal with people, how to, you know, deal with clients that you're working under, and, you know, serve the client and all that. And
I mean, he taught you. He was teaching you a lot. I mean, especially when he told you to put it back in and take a peek.
Oh yeah.
Let's hear that story.
All right. So,
have you heard this story?
That can go both ways.
This is a shout out to Cynthia, the plaster caster.
Oh God.
Well, Mackley, put it back in and take a peek before you cast it.
So. Came out, you know, they wanted some good climbers, and I was eager to show that, hey, I'm the man, you know, like. Yeah. So I'm out there. They get me to fall some trees, and Perkins wants me to cut this big tree. And you know, he if you guys know who David Perkins is, he's very meticulous and methodical, and everything has to be 100% perfect. So he wants you to stick it back in and take a peek, which is put your saw back in the apex of the face cut you have created, and look down your gunning sight and get your, where are you aimed at? Where's your target? Where is that sight gunned in at? Well, he told me, hey, Madeline, put it back in and take a peek. I picked up this 80-pound face cut and put it back in a tree. And I said, oh, like this? And his eyes got so big. And everyone else, they couldn't help but laugh because I came out to be this big badass climber. And then this dingus just put a face cut back in a tree. Like, what are we supposed to do about this? So at the end of the day, when we had our oils...
Yeah, right over there.
Yeah.
Never heard that.
Yeah. When we went back for our oils, everyone pissed their pants that night when they broke the news about me putting a face cut
you
back
knew it
in.
was coming too.
Oh, dude.
I wouldn't
never
even be able
lived
to
that down
laugh.
for a
I
year.
seriously would have been there like, is this a joke?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, just
you
kidding,
joking?
guys.
That's,
Just kidding.
that's what it was.
Just kidding.
It was
Gotcha. Oh man, that's funny.
That's some funny shit.
Do they still bring that up when you see them?
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
I can never live that one down.
Man.
So let's talk about. I mean, because what's happening in California for the last 7 years.
That's
I mean,
terrible.
it's crazy. And every year we think, it can't be as bad as last year. And right now it's worse than last year.
Oh man, the plumes.
And we're just getting into it. The season, and it's already burned. I mean, what is it up to? Over almost 2 million acres that we're at. It may be higher. I'm not sure. I haven't looked in a few days. But, man, doing this work, I mean, you were out in Oregon running one of the largest projects probably ever in the country, and leading some teams out there and doing that type of work to PG&E and felling trees. I mean, you got some experience. You wanted experience. You got above and beyond experience from there. So let's talk about what's happening in California and where you see it's going in the future of, with these fires and felling and that.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a shame because how beautiful these forests are,
Yeah.
like the plumas, the lassen, all the sequoia. Like, it's a shame because when you think of California, you don't think of Southern California. You think of Northern California with all the mountains and the nature and it's just it's beautiful. And now it's slowly being taken away from us. That generations after us will probably not see for a little bit. Like, unless we start to do something to replant or whatever. But yeah, it's I mean, it's the business to making money. There's tons of opportunities nowadays, but it's it's sad to see that these giants, and I don't know, probably the most beautiful state in America,
I believe it.
getting
I believe
decimated. But it's not just it's happening all over. But with the PG&E work, and people want power, they need to power their houses and their computers to check Twitter and Instagram and all that. So the trees have to be cut.
Yeah.
And the skills have to, see, here I go. I'm stuttering, man. I don't know what's wrong with me. What the work is doing with all these fires and the power lines is it needs more individuals to work on their skill sets. It's not just your average, hey, let's just put a face cut in this tree and cut it. It's got to understand where your rigging is, what face cuts you're going to use on a tree that's maybe on stilts, or how are you going to climb this tree if, there's no root system, it's burned out, but you can't fall it, guying it, or, so on and so forth. It takes, it's not just, hey, come out west and work. You got to have the drive and the will, the want to learn how to take down these trees nowadays.
I mean, I follow you.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the shit you've taken down, holy crap, man. I mean, we've used a lot of your videos from up there in Oregon in marketing and things. I mean, it's incredible.
Paying for that shit now, man.
My Venmo is at F Meckey.
I'm gonna send one to you, but it's gonna be you owe me for the beers. No, man. I mean, it's guys. If you gotta follow him. If you get a chance, get online. If you're not following him now, go follow him.
These are all his followers. What are you talking about?
F Meckley, FMECKLEY. Follow him. That's on TikTok, Instagram, Face. You got a TikTok?
Yeah, sadly.
Oh my god!
I got bored last winter, man.
How many followers you have on TikTok?
21,000 or something.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
You got TikTok?
There's guys that tell me how to cut down trees, or
Oh my gosh.
you know, I just think it's funny.
Man, no, but I love watching your stuff on there. So getting the experience of felling, working with a mentor like David Perkins taught you a lot.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah, Travis Devant also was a mentor.
Yeah.
Like that guy.
I mean, Travis was the first,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
with him.
Yeah. Travis's little buddy.
Yeah, he was
I'd
the
say.
first, and it was incredible watching yourself, Toth, and
Oh man.
you know, these other individuals come, and watching, you know, with one individual being able to give his knowledge after 40 years of doing this, and to be able to watch you guys go from, you know, from where you were at to where you are now, and being the leaders and leading the crews and leading the teams and being the experts and the pros that all these other people now are following and watching and learning from, you know, and that's the education part. A lot of people want to keep their secrets to themselves. They don't want to share them. They want to, you know, I worked hard to get these, you know, but you didn't get them from just learn. You got them from somebody. Somebody gave them to you. So being able to give back is what makes our industry just that much better, you know. So who would you say was kind of one of your star pupils right now? Somebody that you're like, dude, this guy came in, nobody thought he would ever be anything. They didn't think he was going to be a climber, like someone told me, and this guy I took under my wing, and he's becoming an absolute badass, or if not a badass now.
Yeah, I would. He was already a timber faller. He'd
Yeah.
already been being a timber faller, and he wanted to climb. He worked under me for
Okay.
I don't know. That guy watched me religiously climb for 6-7 months.
Yeah.
His name's Humberto, and he's from Placerville. And yeah, I mean, watching that guy fall a tree, he makes a pretty stump every time, and how he was able to, and then he brought all that knowledge up to the tree after watching me work. Like, yeah, that's probably my best pupil I've ever had. Is
What was his name?
Humberto Rodriguez.
Where's he right now?
I think he might be with Cal Trees. And I think he's on the Caldor right now.
Gotcha.
But yeah, he's yeah, he was definitely he took to everything that I did right away, and
He was hungry.
yeah, he's super hungry. Yeah, he go because we used to room together. Say, Migo, one day I'm gonna be the best climber like you.
Oh man.
And like, dude, he's killing it, man. He's awesome.
Oh man, and Cal Trees is an awesome company.
Yeah.
I mean they've got some badasses on their team. You know, they work with us and no complaints at all. And there's a lot of subs that work for these primes that you have a lot of complaints on and things that are out there. But Cal Trees, shout out to Cal Trees.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing a great job out there. And hunger, you know, having that hunger. You had that hunger. How does somebody get that hunger or find their passion to like go, I'm hungry, I want this? I mean, what kind of advice would you give an individual who is hungry and wants something? You know, what are the steps? How do they feed that hunger?
I just showed people that I had initiative and I worked hard.
Mm-hmm.
So if you show people that you give them 110%, and you know you don't have a cocky attitude, you don't, you know,
Bingo.
you don't, you're a humble, honest person that gives 110%. Most people take a liking to that, and they kind of, you know, hone into that, and that's where opportunities start to arise. And don't lose that ever, because if you lose that and you start to get cocky, then you might get yourselves out of opportunities, or people start to, this guy, you know, he's
Yeah, I
getting
mean,
too big.
in this profession, man, you know, there's so much ego. There's so much ego in this profession, and ego is a good thing. It can be a very good thing.
Yeah.
You know, to do what we do, you got to have ego. Now, when that there's a fine line from that ego that turns into cockiness or arrogance, right? From ego to arrogance is this freaking fine, right? And I think that's a huge portion of, you know, making that difference in just going out and having a job and go and be able to say, you know what, I want to be really freaking good. I want to be the best at what I do. How do I be the best at what I do? And I think these things you can't teach. You know what you said, and go back from doing to be a hairstylist. Man, you just didn't want to go out and do hair. You went to school. You sought out people to teach and train yourself. You took the extra initiative to become really good at what you do, and not just let that fall in your lap. Hey, I want to do hair. If I do it for 5 years, I might get good, and it's just going to naturally come to me at some point. No, you went and chased it. You went and got it. And just like, you know, our industry or tree care industry, you did the same thing. You know, you didn't sit back and wait. You were proactive. You called people. Hey, I want to do this. I want to go here. I'm going to come to Cali. I'm going to get in some big trees. I'm going to find somebody to mentor me. And did what you've done in a smaller period of time, you know, it takes people a lifetime, and sometimes they don't even get to that point, you know? So it's incredible. It's incredible story.
Thanks.
Yeah.
9 years, man.
Yeah,
And 9 years. I mean, you hair salon, you know, BMX, military school, trouble kid, South Side, you know, you got the hunger. Your dad was from the industry. You came back not knowing what you wanted to do, and you just got into something, and a passion arose in you.
Yeah.
And, you know, learning from, you know, Victor and Baltizo, who
Balthazar.
what is it? Balthazar?
Balthazar.
Balthazar? That sounds like a magician. Is he a
I used
magician?
to call him Bulbasaur, like the Pokemon. Balthazar.
But these guys seen something in you, and you were hungry. You wanted more, and they seen you were hungry, and they fed you. They gave you something. Now they hazed you a little bit and kind of beat you up a little bit, but I think just about everybody with the new guy coming in, they do that to see if you're tough enough to be in this
Oh
industry.
yeah, and I wouldn't change that. You know, I like the hazing. You know,
Yeah.
most of these generations nowadays, like I spent my whole life getting picked on, and I don't care. You know, it pushes you to do something. You know, don't cry about it. Don't get a crying towel. Either you overcome it and push against it. You know,
Go get a crying towel.
Yeah. You know, it's you know, being with like-minded individuals, and I think this is what you did. And, you know, surround yourself by like-minded individuals. You know, you want to be a pro, surround yourself by pros. It's easy.
Yeah.
You know, don't put your blinders on, right? Everything else, not gonna mess with.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go. I want to be a pro. Okay. Everything else is not in my way. I'm gonna go hang out with the pros.
Yeah, exactly. That
Right.
Southside Slammer.
when you know, that's what they call me when I
What?
beat wedges.
No.
I got a few buddies that call me Southside Slam.
Woodchuck 460.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's like, what? That's what.
He's like, oh my gosh, what'd you think of that?
that made
No,
some-
Woodchuck's watching you. Woodchuck and the Southside Slammer, man. Look at these guys,
Oh,
wrecking
David
machines.
just joined in.
Oh man, we're gonna get some of these
damn.
guys. So you guys listen to the show. We're gonna have some questions and get you guys on the live. So stay tuned here. But now let's talk about, you know, PG&E. What's going on here? It's sad, and you mentioned something. You know, replanting,
Oh yeah.
building back these forests. I mean, it's pulling at everybody's heartstrings because it is a moneymaker of taking down these trees, and they have to.
Yeah.
And it's kind of California and the West Coast fault for not being able to thin out these forests and controlled burns and take down these trees, and certain companies not doing their jobs, you know, to clear away from the lines, or
Yeah.
companies like that. And we're in the mess we're in. But now the federal government, the state, everybody sees it to go, it's time to invest in our forest.
I hope.
And now we got to rebuild back our forest.
Yeah. No, this is my second year working on actual fires. I've been on the Dixie now for like, it's going to be 2 months on October 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of trees that the Lassen and the Plumas have lost in the last, I don't know, since the Paradise Fire, it's terrible. Like those towns and areas, how they support their towns is timber and tourism. Tourism's going to be gone because what? No one wants to go to burnt forests. What do you,
Yeah.
you know, all the wildlife is gone, you know, all the, you know, it's just lost of majesticness. And like the town Greenville that got lost, you know, it was a beautiful, cool
Sad,
little
man.
town,
Yeah.
you know? So it's just, that stuff is devastating. And yeah, you know, we have to cut down the trees, but I think it's our responsibility, or someone's responsibility, to start replanting these forests so the generations later can enjoy what we have enjoyed for most of our lives, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing that gets me sad. Like sometimes I feel sad when I'm on a fire. I feel regret, and I'm like, man, I feel bad I'm cutting down these trees. Or, man, look, I worked here last year, and now look at the forest. It's gone, you know?
I think we just started a cone picking cult here.
Yeah.
You guys,
Go pick some cones.
I mean, I've always wanted to do it, man. We should go pick some cones and do
I'm
some.
down.
Do some
You
replanting.
know,
Yeah.
it's just a bummer because, I don't think these fires are gonna stop. Next
No, they're
year,
not.
next year.
It's
next
not,
year,
and we need more help in California, guys. We need more people coming out here, working with Meckley, learning from him. Going under his wing. You guys want to be a faller and learn from some of the best? Come out to California. You're going to get, in a year's time, you'll be pretty good by the end of that year. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk now. Man, love your story. I do. It's awesome.
I feel like I kind of messed up earlier because you started answering me questions and like I saw this like white light and I was like, am I still here? Am I alive?
You're like, is this?
I like started stuttering and I was like, what did he say?
It's those scud lights, dude.
It's the
those
scud lights.
He was like, scud lights. We're supposed to be drinking Maumee Bay Brewing, and you're pulling up Bud Light. That was
before.
pregame.
I got to prime our guests up a little bit.
Yeah.
Some good scud lights.
Oh man. So
I appreciate everyone. I appreciate you guys having me out here. It's cool. And one thing that I do and would like to do is just be able to give back to the industry that has given me, tons of opportunities. I've been to Australia. Instagram and arboriculture and California have just like shaped my whole life. I got my girlfriend Tree Being, Caitlin Johnson from Ohio. She's from the Midwest. I'm from the Midwest, and now we're on the West
all
Coast.
good people come from Ohio.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
Now you know what it is, Matt. You're just a good person, man, and that takes the cake. Everything that you're doing here is great. You have followers, you have friends, because you're a good person, man. There's a lot of people doing the same thing, bad people,
Yeah.
and it's good, man. It's good to see that, the good guys do win.
No, thank
And
you.
our industry needs that.
Yeah,
give
we're
back, give back, give
100%.
back, give back.
We don't own any of this, man. We are
Yeah.
just, we're here to give, man.
And now let's talk about giving back to the industry, because November 20th, you're giving back, guys. Listen, at the Academy, it's the very first Superstar Day with Mr. Mackley, the Southside Slammer, Mackley.
It's Mackley.
Mackley. So he's going to be at the Academy November 20th. Spread the word. It is going to be one of the biggest events of 2021. You're going to be here. You're going to be the special guest. You're going to be teaching and training all day. We're going to have vendors. We're going to have barbecue here. You're going to get fed breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you want to stay the night, you get to stay the night. We got out in the back 40 where you're going to be able to camp. We have a 28-bed bunkhouse, bonfire pit, outdoor showers.
Live music.
Live music's going to be happening. You're going to be training all day
live
that
up
day,
to it.
man.
I know.
Dude, it's going to be
a party,
it.
man.
Tomorrow you got your photo shoot that's going to be happening. So look out. The modeling. Make sure you get your hair all did up for that. But it's going to be cool, man. It's when we decided this, that we wanted VIP guests, like a superstar, industry badass out there that's given back to the industry. You were the first person we called, man, for that day. Yeah. So
it's humbling.
The very first person to come. So you're going to be the first one in November, and we're going to continue to have this every single month with a new guest out here in Santa Rosa, California, at the ranch. So can you give us any sneak peek of what you're going to be talking about?
I think I want to talk about, I'm not saying I'm a timber faller or anything like that. I just cut trees down, but a hazard faller. I want to start to teach people how to incorporate that in their tree climbing, how to make tops fit, or where you can cut a tree in half, or, you're going to come out to California and work on the line clearance projects or the hazard burn trees. You got to figure out what can you do to mitigate any hazard that will make that tree dangerous, or how can you get it done efficient or safe, So I'm going to go over some rigging, cuts you should take in a tree, or pre-steps, precautionary things you should do to make sure that tree's stable before you get in there and come up with your plan.
Dude.
Thanks, man.
So,
November 20th. Now, let me ask you a question. Can we because I don't know if everybody on this live and listening to this now believes that you're a hairdresser.
Yeah.
Can you cut Jared's during lunchtime? Can you do
Dude,
Jared up a do?
I don't get haircuts, man. I just let him.
No, man, look at
You
that
think-
hair.
let's see.
Dude, he's got it good.
Yeah, he
I
has.
just-
I
I
was
just
going
let
to
it
say
rip.
me, but I may have two hairs left by then. So, I want to see you in action on not only cutting trees, but that. What do you think?
I could probably do that.
Okay.
All my
okay.
stuff's back in Chicago. Though.
I'm super psyched just for this
I have
event.
some scissors up there on my desk. I'll get you.
I think for Matt coming in here, you talking about what you want to talk about, but we could do so much. So I think being able to have the facility and be able to create some cool shit and let you take the way and let the audience pave the way, right? We want to see this, we want to see that, and it's just like you just get to show the world all your tips and tricks, man.
Yeah.
I think that's what people want. That's what I want to see, man. I want to learn these tips and tricks, man. I want to see every type of cut you got. I want to see how you position yourself, how you calculate your leans and wood weight, and
Shout
man,
out to
everything
David
that
Driver and the rigging rings.
yeah, everything that goes. Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, rig out some pieces, man. Put some cool shit together.
Oh, yeah.
I want to have a big party. I want everybody to show up and we could all hang out and ask all the questions while having a beer at the end of the day, sitting in this room. So I think it's gonna be a super fun event.
Yeah.
I'm a super big nerd, and I like to poke fun at myself, and but I love tree work. I'm a nerd. This is my life, and I'm glad I get to do this stuff. Thankful.
Well, we're thankful you're in the industry, man, and you're teaching people and helping expand it and do what you're doing every single day, and just being on the show and giving back to the industry, because it's what it's about. It's about giving back, because the next generations need your education and what you've learned in the field and the failures and mistakes you have to keep them safe, to keep them alive, and to show, hey, you can make a great living. You can make money in this industry. You can have a long-lasting career with new technology and new gear for a long-lasting career here. So, guys, listen, Matt, you want to follow Matt Meckley, F. Meckley on Instagram, Matthew Meckley on Facebook, F. Meckley on TikTok. This is a guy that military school, tough run, 3rd grade to 8th grade, decided to be a hairdresser, worked with Cynthia the plaster caster, talked about penises every day. With her. I hope she's alive. Man, if we could get her on the show, it's going to be awesome. To not knowing what you're going to be in life, following your dad's footsteps, Victor and Baltizo, that just seen your hard work ethic that you put in and decided to invest in you. And because of their investment, you were able to invest in so many other people. And we see this over and over on the show. One person comes in your life, inspires you to be able to want to learn more, to get that hunger to learn more, and now you're able to inspire other people, and those other people, and this is how it spreads, going farther for that. So it was a pleasure to have you on the show.
Kinda
It was
wish
awesome.
I didn't have my brain lapse.
No one even knew that, man. It was awesome. It really was. And we're going to have you back on the show again here soon, and maybe on the 20th coming in. I know Caitlin's coming in. We're going to have her on the show. She's shy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Has she done a podcast yet?
No.
Okay,
She doesn't talk too much.
Okay. Well, we might have you right next to her so you can, help her out when she needs help out. But Caitlin's going to be here. She's going to be here with you on that day, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what she said. So, yes.
Okay.
All
Okay. She
right,
said it.
all
She's going to
right.
be here. She teaching with you? Is she your assistant, or she's here just to watch,
She's
the
here to
Southside
show-
Slammer?
Yeah, she's here to show everyone how to use a chainsaw.
Oh, good.
That girl's wicked.
Good, man. Good. So she's going to be here also that day with you and that. So, Matt, the viewers, the people listening, like I always say, you never know where this is going to go and who's going to listen to it and where they're going to listen to it in the world. What kind of wisdom or advice can you give other people in this industry who are seeking to get in or who are already in? What kind of advice can you give them that they can take with them tomorrow and in the future?
First, you should probably incorporate concrete into your diet. Harden the fuck up. But I don't know. Just show promise.
So good.
I need a T-shirt that says that.
Show promise. Show people that you have good intentions. You're 110% in. Don't say something and then not follow through with it. Show people that you're the real deal, and just be genuine and just have a good work ethic. Like that's all I ever did, and I'm thankful. Like I got a lot of people to thank. I'm gonna thank them right now. I don't care.
Thank
These are
'em.
guys that have just helped me along the way. Is Blake, Travis, David Driver, Mark Chisholm, Jared Abrojena, Brian Toth, Todd Crane. Dude, there's just so many people that have influenced my career, and I've taken bits and pieces of whatever they've said or any promise or anything they've saw in me, and then what they've given to me, I've taken it and run with it and just try to incorporate in everything. So.
And made it your own
Yeah, exactly.
to teach it back.
I try, yeah. I mean, hopefully people want to listen to me, and remember, the academy is where it's at.
The academy is where it's at.
Yeah, because it's really not all of ours anyway, man. We all took it from other people anyhow. So we just got to give back.
Well, listen, everybody, we appreciate you being on the show and listening to Matt's story. He's going to be back November 20th. Get your tickets. Come spend the entire day, overnight. The next morning, we're going to be having an awesome little teaching thing before everybody goes home. It's going to be an awesome event. But we appreciate you guys supporting the show, passing this on, tagging people, getting people to listen to it. If you're interested in being on the show, go on our website, twotreeguys.com, and sign up to be on the show. We'll contact you and have you on the show. And, also, too, if there's anything that you guys have questions or anything, send them in. We're going to have question and answer time. So if you have questions that you want to know that you may not get answered on the show, we're going to have questions that you can send in on our website. We're going to take those 3 at a time, and we're going to answer them. It can be about business, trees, or just what's your favorite beer. It doesn't matter if you have some questions for everything. So keep inspiring. Keep teaching out there, people. Eat some fucking concrete and get tough.
Harden the fuck up.
Harden the fuck up, for that. So, again, Matt, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you being on the show. And Jared, this was a good one. And I'm looking forward to spending some more time with you and watching your photo shoot tomorrow.
Thank you.
So, thank you, everybody.
Adios.
All right.
Peace.